Hello, how are you? Good, good. Welcome to Taking Your Business Online. My name is Vivian Kaye. I've been an entrepreneur for the past 14 years. And over the past 8 years, I've been the founder and CEO of KinkyCurlyYaki, a premium textured hair extensions brand for Black women. I am also an e-commerce coach and host of the weekly IGTV show, Mind Your Business, where I help entrepreneurs like you and I set you up for success. I'm here on behalf of the Canadian Black Chamber of Commerce. Together with SheaMoisture, we've created virtual classes to encourage and support Black entrepreneurs across the country. And we will continue to share resources to support you and your businesses during this time. Today, we're going to focus on the basics of e-commerce. With me, you'll learn what e-commerce is, why your business needs to be online, how to choose the best e-commerce platform for your business, 3 essentials to getting started in e-commerce, and lastly, 4 ways to get your first sale online. I cannot wait to share this knowledge with you. Ready? Let's go. There are 4 types of e-commerce models. Let's get into it. First, there's business to consumer, B2C. So that's when a business sells a good or service to an individual consumer. For example, when you buy a pair of shoes from an online retailer at 3 o'clock in the morning, that is an example of B2C. Number 2, B2B, business to business. When a business sells a goods or service to another business. For example, when a business sells software as a service to another business to use. Number 3, consumer to consumer, C2C. When a consumer sells a good or service to another consumer. For example, when you sell your old furniture on eBay to another consumer directly. And lastly, number 4, consumer to business, C2B. When a consumer sells their products or services to a business or organization. A great example of that is when an influencer offers exposure to their online audience in exchange for a fee, or a photographer licenses their photos for a business to use. Let's get into the 8 common types of e-commerce websites. Number 1, retail. This is the most common type of e-commerce. It's when a business sets up shop to sell products directly to the consumer. Number 2, wholesale. That is when a retailer sells in bulk to another retailer, who then sells directly to the consumer. Number 3, drop shipping. This is when you sell a product that you don't hold inventory for, but it's manufactured and shipped by the supplier directly to the consumer on your behalf. Number 4, crowdfunding. When you collect money in advance of the product being created or available, and you're raising the money to bring it to market. Number 5, subscriptions. These are curated boxes that ship products and bill consumers on a recurring basis. Number 7, these are downloadable digital goods such as music, templates, courses, and ebooks that must be purchased in order to use them. And finally, number 8, services, a set of skills and blocks of time that are provided in exchange for money. So, as you can see, e-commerce takes on many forms. Where does your business fit in? What is e-commerce? E-commerce, also known as electronic commerce, aka buying stuff on the internet in your pajamas at 3 o'clock in the morning. Stores that sell their products online are e-commerce stores or businesses. An example of one of the most popular online stores in the e-commerce space is Amazon.com. The first ever online sale was on August 11th, 1994. A dude sold the CD by Sting to his other dude through a website called Netmarket. This is the first example of the consumer, the person buying the CD, purchasing a product, the CD, from a business that only existed on the World Wide Web, otherwise known as e-commerce. Since then, e-commerce has evolved so that everyone from large corporations to people like you and I to sell our goods online without having to set up a brick and mortar retail location. And it's not about to slow down. E-commerce is projected to do over 27 trillion in sales in 2020, and that was before COVID-19 hit. Let's chat about some of the ways that you can do e-commerce. Why your business needs to be online. My e-commerce business, KinkyCurlyYaki, is direct to consumer, and we use an e-commerce platform called Shopify. An e-commerce platform is a software solution that allows businesses to create online stores and sell products and services to people down the street or around the world. Examples of e-commerce platforms include Wix, BigCommerce, Squarespace, WooCommerce, BigCartel, and Shopify. Websites like Amazon, Etsy, and eBay are marketplaces. That's where you and thousands of other businesses have access to millions of customers to sell your products to. The benefits to creating an online business is a long list, but they include access to a global market, 24/7 availability, ability to work from anywhere, reduced overhead, and the ability to serve a niche market. If you are running a business that sells products, either physical, digital, or a service, e-commerce is the way to go. Next, let's choose the right e-commerce platform for your business. An e-commerce platform is software that gives you the capability to create and manage an online store. You'll use this software to manage your site, your products, operations, and everything related to online sales. But finding the best e-commerce software isn't always easy. In an era where online shopping is the new norm, the market has been flooded with different e-commerce solutions for business owners. At first glance, lots of these platforms seem to be extremely similar, but there are lots of factors to consider. Let's take a look at 3 of the popular e-commerce platforms: Wix, WooCommerce, and Shopify. Wix is best known as a drag and drop website builder, but you can also use Wix to create an e-commerce website from scratch. The best part about using Wix as an e-commerce platform is its simplicity. Your e-commerce site will get the same drag and drop benefits as a traditional Wix website. You just need to choose an e-commerce plan to accept payments online. For those of you who already are using Wix, you can always upgrade your plan to activate the e-commerce functionality. In summary, Wix is great if you want to set up a simple store to get going quickly, but I wouldn't recommend it if you plan on growing your business online. WooCommerce is a bit of a different platform than most e-commerce platforms. WooCommerce is actually an e-commerce plugin made specifically for WordPress. With WooCommerce, any website running on WordPress can be turned into an e-commerce store. WooCommerce itself is free to download and install on your WordPress site, but it has a huge learning curve. WooCommerce requires you to have your domain, hosting, and WordPress account already set up. You can also customize your store by adding more than 300 available extensions from the WooCommerce extension store. In summary, WooCommerce is great if you already have a WordPress website and you want full control over the customization. However, it is not so great if you don't consider yourself tech savvy. The third and last e-commerce platform is Shopify. It is arguably the best known e-commerce platform in the world. More than 1 million e-commerce businesses are powered by this e-commerce solution. As an all-in-one e-commerce platform, Shopify is extremely easy to use and set up right out the gate. What I love about using Shopify is that it's so versatile. It's used by small businesses and larger scale operations alike. Brands like Fashion Nova and Kylie Cosmetics operate on the Shopify platform. Another standout from Shopify is its award-winning 24/7 support. Shopify makes it easy for you to sell products from your online store as well as through social media platforms and online marketplaces and in person with Shopify POS. At this time, Shopify is now offering a 90-day free trial to help businesses get set up and running online. In summary, Shopify is the best option if you want an all-in-one solution for your e-commerce store. Plus, it will get you up and running very quickly. Choosing the best platform for you and your business is a decision that should not be taken lightly. If you're running a product-based business, I would suggest looking for a platform that lets you manage inventory, do marketing, get reporting, and have the ability to ship all from one place. I encourage you to do your homework and choose an option that will work best for you and your new e-commerce business. Now, let's talk about 3 essentials to getting started online. You've decided to launch your business online. You've signed up for an e-commerce platform. Great! But now what? Let's make sure you have the essentials in order. First up, your domain name. I encourage you strongly to purchase your own .com or .ca to give your brand a more polished presence. You can purchase a domain from GoDaddy or directly from Google. You can even purchase your domain name from the back end of platforms like Squarespace or Shopify. Secondly, sign up for G Suite, which is Google's productivity suite of products. G Suite is a suite of Google applications that brings together essential services to help your business. This is a hosted service that lets businesses use a variety of Google products, including Gmail, Google Drive, Google Docs, Google Calendar, Google Talk, and Google Meet, all on your unique domain. Setting up G Suite is an essential and easy way to make your brand look more established, polished, and professional. The third essential to getting started is to get your brand together. A brand is more than just a logo and a website. A consistent brand helps to grow your reputation, builds credibility, attracts the right customers, and it makes you memorable. A brand helps to give a persona that your customers can connect with. In other words, people aren't necessarily buying the product, they are buying the emotions that your brand conveys. When you think of big brands like Apple, Coca-Cola, or SheaMoisture, you trust them because their branding has remained consistent. A tool to help you remain consistent in all your customer touch points is a brand guidelines document. Brand guidelines is a document that will help you look the part of a well-established brand. It helps you to maintain consistency in what your brand looks, feels, and sounds like. You would include all elements of your brand in one document, like your logo variations, the fonts, your colors, your images, your brand positioning statements, and more. Having a strong brand was the key to my business's success, and having brand guidelines helped me do that. Now that your brand looks polished and consistent, let's talk about the 4 ways to getting your first online sale. When starting a new e-commerce business, your first sales are some of the most important ones. These are the sales that get the momentum going, and it will help you to refine your marketing strategy, and it helps to iron out any kinks in your operations. Naturally, though, these first sales will be some of the hardest ones to get. So here's 4 ways that you can do that. Number 1, tell people all the time. I know it sounds obvious, but you'd be surprised how often this gets neglected. You can't just open an online store and people just magically appear ready to throw money at you. You have to tell people what you do and what you have to offer, and you have to continuously tell them about your business, even if you think no one is listening. Number 2, sell to people in your life who you know can actually use the product. No, that doesn't mean to guilt trip your friends and family into buying stuff they don't need. Seek out someone you know who could actually appreciate and use your product. Number 3, have a discount code. Whether it's a student discount or even a seasonal promotion, everyone loves a discount. Number 4, use email or SMS sequences to win over a customer. Using a welcome sequence, abandoned cart, product-specific emails, or text messages lets the customer know that you're ready to serve them with the best products ever. In my business, these sorts of emails and text messages have the highest conversion rates. You'll notice that I didn't say use paid ads. There's a reason for that. You do not need them right now. Do not be seduced by them unless you have the money to spend. Right now, what you're trying to see is what works best for your business. Once you have made that first $1,000 or $10,000 steadily online, then you can look into doing paid ads. FYI, I built my business KinkyCurlyYaki to over $1 million without a single paid ad. How did I do it? I grew my audience organically, I created a strong brand, and I served my customers well. So that's everything you need to know to get started in e-commerce. Today we covered what e-commerce is, why your business needs to be online, choosing the best e-commerce solution, 3 essentials to getting started, and 4 ways to get your first sale. Hopefully, I have given you enough information to make the right decision to bring your business online. If you need more help, holla at your Aunt Viv. On behalf of the Canadian Black Chamber of Commerce and SheaMoisture, thank you for joining us. Thank yourselves for taking the time out of your day to do something for you, your business, and ultimately your community. For more information or to hear about my coaching services, please visit me at viviankaye.com or follow me on the gram at It's Vivian Kaye. And you can also follow my business, KinkyCurlyYaki. For more information about Canadian Black Chamber of Commerce, please visit www.blackchamber.ca. Thank you for watching, and may you continue to prosper in every area of your life. See you later.
Hi, everyone. My name is Amoye Henry. I am a business consultant and strategist from Consulting, here on behalf of the Canadian Black Chamber of Commerce in partnership with SheaMoisture. We've developed some tools to be able to help our small businesses through this time period and offer some resources to help you get through. Today, I will be talking about the subject, resources to help you stay in business. So I have a couple notes here that I'm going to read through, and I'm happy to be reached on my Instagram or my website, amoyehenry.com or Amoye Henry. So one of the key things as business owners is we, regularly generate expenses and we generate costs associated with our businesses. So it's really important as a business owner to use this time to scale down your budgets and scale down your expenses. What that looks like is minimizing and cutting off things that are needless or not bringing large amounts of value to your company operations. So you might want to do things like cancel some needless subscriptions, things that you don't necessarily use on a regular basis that are just, building up on your credit or in your accounts and not really necessarily, benefiting your business bottom line. You want to look at reorganizing your budget. So prioritizing things at the top, like your rent, your website, your social media expenses, your ad generation. There's products and inventory that you need to spend money on. You want to prioritize that. Things that you don't necessarily need to, waste money on anymore, like your nice to haves, you can think about scaling back on those as you reorganize your budget. You can also look at reframing your 2020 strategic plan. So at the beginning of the year, our ideas were way different from what they are now as far as how we wanted to conduct our businesses and what we wanted our business model to look like, how we wanted to interface with our customers and our client base. Due to COVID, there's been drastic shutdowns on an economic sense for everything. And so we've had to look at business in a really different way, right? So one of the key things that business owners have been doing recently is looking at the ability to migrate to the online experience and create channels, distribution channels through e-commerce, right? So you can get onto the Shopifys and the Amazon, the eBay and the Etsy's and start to sell your product online and continue to engage with your client base through digital means. So a strategic plan is always important for that, right? And it's also time to think about lead generation. Is there a category or a subset of clients that you've never had access to that you now want to have access to? And that, there's tons of value that you can get with, new partnerships or new directions, right? In terms of how to engage a new client base. So think about your sales pipeline and think about what are the pathways that customers have to accessing you. You want to use this time to collect data. So doing surveys, nobody loves it. Nobody really likes to create them. Nobody really likes to complete them. But you want to think about that because when are we going to ever have an opportunity to have all of us just at home, sitting down, waiting for notifications to go off on our phone? So there's an enhanced, or in some instances, I apologize, there is an enhanced availability that we all have now. And so we may have some more time on our hands to quickly do a survey. All business owners know that market research is absolutely critical to, a thriving business. So take the time, create some surveys, start to collect some data, and better understand your customer needs and, their wants. Right? Strategy is always great, but strategy informed by metrics, which is your data, is even better. So thinking about your business model, have you figured out a pivot yet? So if you're a restaurant, have you shut down your restaurant, but have you now thought about, okay, maybe there's a way to do deliveries. Maybe there's a way for people to order their, favorite foods and their favorite groceries online so we can deliver it to them now, right? There's so many different ways to pivot during a time like this, but there's also, a pivot where you can actually just sit down and pivot your internal operations. Maybe it's not an external pivot that's customer facing. Maybe it's a pivot that just happens, with your team and how you operate and how you actually, execute your workflow processes, right? So develop your pivot and analyze your brand life cycle. Build out your financial model, but always factor in your teams by interpreting your sales, your expenses, and any fluctuations. So when do you peak? When do you dip? Right? When does your business go up, and when does it go down? You want to take record of that. Shopify and Amazon stocks have gone up because e-commerce is the most viable distribution channel for goods and products is now. People are not necessarily going out to malls, and they can't even go out to malls. People aren't going to their favorite stores anymore. So e-commerce has, boomed. Looking at pivot as well, like just to expand on that a bit. If you deliver a service-based business, it could be a good opportunity to develop a course or online program and use that to cultivate your network and build a loyal, engaged audience. And you can continue to also earn income from that. I've seen great people who are, in the space of yoga and healing and wellness, and they have developed courses where people like myself who may or may not have been able to make it out to their yoga classes now, I have it at the convenience of, logging into a Zoom, and I can just do yoga from the convenience of my living room now. And that's a really interesting pivot because people still want that immersive wellness experience. Wellness activities and fitness has definitely gone up. A lot of people are looking at ways how to continue to stay fit during this time period. So that's an interesting pivot to look at as well. What you'd need for that is Hopin, Zoom, Thinkific, something like Canva or PowerPoint, something that lets you take all the data and the information for your course, plop it into a digital platform, and then share it with your consumers. Finding capital. That is another really, really important thing to do right now during this time. And, thinking of a way to not go out of business. So use the opportunity to research government funding, right? Look into bank loans. Research private equity support and private equity firms, looking at the venture capital and investment funding spaces. Successfully applying for and securing funding to get through this period does not have to feel like a daunting process. Use the opportunity to consult with experts and different people who work in that space to direct you down the right path towards securing funding, right? Always think about what's the best outcome for your business. Do you need the funding? Can you repay it back? What are the stipulations that, will definitely affect your access to the funding? And I can go into some of those funding opportunities right now. So we have the Canadian Emergency Business Account, which everyone knows as CEBA. That is a $25 billion grant that has been streamlined to the top financial institutions across Canada, and it affords small business owners and nonprofit founders about $40,000 in funding that is 25% forgiven once you pay back the loan in full by 2022. There's a whole bunch of eligibility requirements that you would need to look into when you go through your financial institution. There's also the Business Development Canada loan, where BDC is partnering with different financial institutions to co-lend long-term loans for businesses for their operational cash flow requirements. Eligible businesses may obtain differing maximum finance amounts, but up to $12.5 million. So not every business, especially small or medium-sized businesses, will qualify for these loans, but these exist, right, through BDC. Now, through EDC, there's an Export Development Canada loan, and it's called the Business Credit Availability Program. It's somewhat similar to the BDC loan, but this one is really focused on partnering. So financial institutions are really focused on partnering with businesses as quickly as possible. So really getting into the nitty-gritty, understanding your needs, understanding how to service your needs and help, expedite the money quickly, right? So whether that's through paying your staff, whether that's furloughing staff that you can't afford to pay, just giving them a payment amount. These are loans to help you continue to operate. So you're paying your rent, you're paying, any loans that you had prior that, there's no loan forgiveness, right? For those, you're looking at these as buffer money to help you get through this time and help you pivot, right? So whether that's transporting your business online, there's a myriad of different things out there that's available to you. You don't have to go out of business. Before you go out of business or before you make the decision to, cut off your services, always consult with a professional, talk to your lawyers, talk to your accountants, and figure out what the opportunities are out there, right? COVID is very devastating. It is harmful. It is horrible. We're not excited about this, but this is a good opportunity to really think about, your purpose and think about the value proposition that you add as a business owner to the community and to Canada at large. You are valuable. You are important. Your business is important, and we appreciate your contributions to society. So thank you for hearing me out, and I hope these have been helpful to you. If you'd like more information, you can book some time with me on my website at www.amoyehenry.com. I want to thank SheaMoisture and the Canadian Black Chamber of Commerce for this opportunity. Thank you.